why would a field service organization look into AI? Well, number one, and we talked about this in the opinions, is to improve KPIs. And I know efficiencies are completely encompassed around KPIs. So these could be ranging from response times, improving your response times for your technicians. It could be first time fixed rates, increasing those. Uh, and it could be mean time to repair. Of course, the more efficient you get in the overall scope of your organization, these KPIs are going to improve. And then a downstream effect of that, of course, you get more efficient. And what do we want? We want more money. So, of course, it's going to increase your revenue. Um, and this could be lowering the amount of site visits. Having to do revisits costs more money, right? So, the more efficient you are at completing the work the first time, the less times you have to go back out on site, or even the effect of having to revisit sites because a follow-on service was required at that same site that you didn't know, so you have to do a revisit, or even contract renewals. The more efficient you are, word starts getting out, and customers start to know you as a very efficient company. You increase their uptime availability. Their systems are working more often. They're going to they're going to renew their contracts, and potentially you're going to gain new contracts on top of that from new customers. Have the ability to request for real-time updates. Of course, this is big. It's not having to go through all the data on a daily basis or even on a weekly basis and trying to decipher what's going on with your organization. Um, and then ask AI to provide a synopsis of a record or suggest improvements. This is where it starts to look at your operations. It starts gives you suggestions on things that you can improve on, or it gives you a synopsis of records where you can go in and say, I need to look at this type of record for this amount of time, and it can generate reports for you. So this is another slide that I used on my previous presentation, but I just wanted to reemphasize some of the AI capabilities for field service that certain organizations would look into. So, of course, optimized scheduling and routing. The more optimized you are with your routing of your techs and your scheduling, the more efficient you are. That increases your utilization for your techs, decreases your downtime for equipment. Uh, Also, proactive and predictive service. This is where suggestions come out, where AI can look at your data and start to build a backlog on items that you might want to improve on, or proactively go out and repair before it breaks. Because it's always cheaper to go out and do preventive maintenance than to actually do reactive maintenance. Uh, Improve communication. AI can keep your mobile workers and customers connected, allowing customers to self-book appointments and track the progress of the service visit. Empowered field teams. AI can help with tools to increase and help your frontline workers. Increase productivity and revenue. We just talked about this. By reducing time spent on invoicing and paperwork, AI allows mobile workers to focus more on completing the jobs and thereby driving revenue. Enhanced maintenance processes. This is where AI can automate manual tasks like collecting data, diagnosing problems, and identifying the best solutions to resolve those issues. So let's just talk about some of these for a second. Let's do a little bit deeper dive. So improve scheduling capabilities. And what we mean by that is um, dispatchers, as you see from this dispatcher in this picture here. This dispatcher has a looks like a spreadsheet there. She's having to work through it. She's trying to keep up real time with their techs, where they are, who has what capabilities. Most of the time, dispatchers have this all in the back of their head. They know who should go where, who has what kind of skill sets, who lives closer, um, and things along those lines. But a lot of times, um, because it's human error, the wrong tech might be dispatched. So it's the wrong skill set that went on site. They might show up on site and not be able to fix the problem or remedy the issue. So you have to send out the proper skill set. Another piece is route not being optimized. So this is where your utilization is going to start to increase because um, for the dispatcher is not going to know from point A to point B what's the more efficient route to for the day from the start of the day to the end of the day. Um, SLA missed. This is where dispatchers don't really understand. Um, so the priorities of the work orders and knowing how to shift the work to allow for SLAs to be met for first time response. And then missed opportunities. This is where I talked about earlier about having preventive maintenance or scheduled maintenance work orders that are out there and be able to piggyback on other visits so that you're doing one time visit instead of having to do multiple visits from one site. Suggest process improvements. This is where you sit there in your boardroom and you're going through Excel spreadsheets on a daily basis or a weekly basis and trying to decipher the data. As you see from this picture, buried in Excel spreadsheets. Um, it's not only going through that data, but understanding what you're looking at and trying to decipher and what should be improved on, what's the impact of making that improvement, and presenting an analytical outcome of that. Real-time updates while on the go. A lot of organizations they have to pick up a phone right now and contact their techs for an update. They don't have visibility into those what's currently happening on work orders, or they have to log into a CRM for updates. Or and For the technician, of course, as we talked about earlier, bad data in gets bad data out, making sure that the techs are collecting the correct data, um, and making it easy on them instead of them having to go back to the hotel room and trying to remember everything they did. They can do it real time and things like that. And we'll talk about that in a minute on some capabilities that Microsoft is putting out. So now that we talked about why, let's talk about how you prepare your organization for AI. So, steps to take to prepare to use AI. Of course, number one is understand AI's potential. As I mentioned, it's not going to be the fix all be all. It's a tool that helps you to improve on your efficiencies, but it's just a tool. It's not going to fix everything for you. Understand what KPIs you would like to improve. So instead of just flipping the switch on and saying, all right, we've got AI now, what efficiencies are you trying to gain? Like understand your business process as the next bullet there. Understand your business process and understand what needs to be improved on. And then also on top of that, understand your data. Like for instance, if you have a technician going out to the field and they are collecting data and it's an open text field, um, open text field, they can put whatever they want. So of course, when you're using AI to go in and analyze that data, there's many differences in the data. It's not going to give you a clean representation of what you're looking for. So being able to construct that data collection in the front end to make sure that your data on the back end comes out properly. Establish AI usage policies and procedures. Make sure that you have in place how AI is going to be used by your end users. What is its purpose? You know, try to come up with policies for that, and educate your team. saying this is our tool that we're putting in place. This is why we're putting it in place, and show them how to use the tools. Ensure to understand the AI output. So this is where you you go in and you ask AI to produce certain information, and you'll see that as you start using AI, you can come out with a different outcome depending on the question that you ask, and the way you ask it. So this is where you kind of need to understand how to use AI to get the outcome that you want, that you're looking for.